Hey again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wheel of Albums. Along with my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I am Justin. What we do here on Wheel of Albums is we spin a wheel of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die from Robert Dimery's book. Then, after that album is spun, me, Jack, and Adam listen to that album for a week. And then we come together here, give you a short podcast on what we think of that album. Is it good? And is it something that you should listen to before you die? This week, I got to spin the wheel, and I got David Gray's 1998, and then re-released a couple years later, release, White Ladder. Jack, is David Gray on your radar?
I had never heard of David Gray. I've never heard of White Ladder. Just keeps confusing me that out of 1,001 albums that you must hear before you die, there's now been so many that I've never even heard of, much less listened to.
My initial reaction when we found out White Ladder was the next album was I had no idea who David Gray was, and I was kind of excited to get to know him a bit. Faintly remembered Babylon being on the radio a lot.
Yeah, Babylon was on the radio, it seemed like forever. 3 years that I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I swear that song was on every type of radio station imaginable. It just fit every format, I guess. And follow-up, Please Forgive Me, I faintly remember that too. Adam, after listening to this all week, what are your thoughts on White Ladder?
It started off really strong. Please Forgive Me had to be my favorite find of the entire album. Babylon's a great tune. You know, the middle part of the album's like a survival raft in the ocean with no breeze. It's just going nowhere fast. And, the last couple songs are decent. I liked his version of Say Hello, Wave Goodbye by Soft Cell.
I think the problem for me with this album is I was expecting something a little more adventurous. And the song structures start to wane on me really quickly. And if his voice is there to save that, I don't find David Gray's voice particularly captivating.
Apparently, 25% of the households in Ireland have done something so wrong that the government has forced them to accept and listen to and own a copy of David Gray's White Ladder.
It's like the Irish version of Michael Bublé's Christmas album.
I don't know what you've done, but you should be ashamed of yourself.
The crazier fact I found out is that it's the top-selling album ever in Ireland. You two, Thin Lizzy, where are you at, guys? How does David Gray hold this title? Sometimes 1 in 4 Irish households can be wrong.
So David Gray's White Ladder was doing really well in England and just not doing well here in the States at all. So his old touring buddy, Dave Matthews, said that he was starting a new label and that he wanted to put White Ladder on it. Like Babylon was, it was then remixed as a single and then it was on the radio. It felt like forever. Thanks, Dave Matthews.
I do not like this record.
Hey, hats off for recording this in your own bedroom as well. With just a computer, sampler, and keyboard, he recorded White Ladder.
I guess while you're producing an album at home, you got to do some chores, so...
Think of the multitasking and things you can get done at home while you're recording an album.
Do a little laundry, scrub those dishy dishes, take out the trash...
Put a little WD-40 on the door.
And knit by the fireplace.
And then go over to that piano and create something as insipid as This Year's Love Is Gonna Last. Make yourself some tea and then say, hey, let's add a little, whoa, yeah, to the end of that chorus. That is White Ladder in a nutshell to me.
He shouldn't have been allowed to leave the house with these things, with the tapes. And then when he did finally leave the house, he should have been, whoa, what the heck? My trees got toilet paper in them and my house has been egged unmercifully. Because that's what he deserved. His neighbors should have been so upset listening to him try to tweak this and put it together.
I'm just going to say I felt like sitting at home brooding over Lost Love is the correct answer for this album. All the way through, don't get up and go anywhere. Just sit and brood over that lost love that you lost a long time ago.
Best place to listen to White Ladder. How about buying socks and underwear at Target?
Don't get the keys. Don't drive away. No. That is unless you go to Babylon.
This strikes me as so manufactured, full of false sentimentality, trying to make you remember an emotion, but not actually bring out an emotion, a real emotion from the work itself. This is a perpetual background soundtrack to every Hallmark movie ever made. You know, they're at their high school reunion. They're going to stay together. And this time, gosh darn it, ain't no bank or farm foreclosure or snowman building contest going to keep them apart. Cue up David Gray, Babylon. I don't like it.
All right, when we take a look at our favorite songs from White Ladder, you got Babylon, Please Forgive Me, and This Year's Love, all with low scores. Night Blindness, that was our combined least favorite song on this album. And then if you take a look at the ratings, Jack with his lowest yet, a 1.1. Me and Adam, we're not too fond of this album either. It becomes our lowest rated album overall so far with a rating of 3.76. Ouch.
Is White Ladder an album you need to listen to before you die? I'm going to say no. It feels like every other late 90s, early 2000 pop rock record. I mean, you might as well just put on some Gavin DeGraw or Five for Fighting and call it a day. So, don't need to listen to this one before you die.
Must you listen to White Ladder from David Gray before you die? First off, I feel guilty for spinning this. I did not enjoy this album. It reminded me of a lot of stuff in the 2000s that come after. Adam mentioned Gavin DeGraw. How about James Blunt? You're Beautiful, or Had a Bad Day, or any of those songs from the 2000s. If that's your bag, maybe you'll like David Gray's White Ladder. It's not for me. Hard pass. There's got to be hundreds of thousands of more albums worthwhile over this.
If you haven't picked up on the hints yet, I've tipped my hand very subtly. My answer is no. Do not listen to this before you die. Do not listen to it after you die. If you listen to it after you die, that means you're in hell. And this is what's getting played as your punishment in hell. Do not listen to David Gray's White Ladder. Oh, I look forward to the next record. It's got to be better.
I agree. It's got to be better. No pressure, Adam. Spin that wheel. Give us something that we can like.
The wheel has been spun. And up next on the Wheel of Albums is, we're getting cheeky and rocking out with the Who Sell Out.
All right, we got some 60s Who next on Wheel of Albums. Hey, thanks for listening in. If you're watching and listening on YouTube, give us a like, maybe subscribe to our channel, and if you're on Spotify, we got a poll here. What do you think? David Gray, White Ladder, is it worth listening to before you die? We want to hear from you, from our brother Al.
All right.
And for Jack. I'm Justin. And what's that? Oh, you want to talk about... Oh, okay. Jack still has something else he wants to add on here. See ya.
Or maybe it was the very special episode of Mr. Belvedere while he was in the hospital after he had Belvedered himself on the kitchen chair. And Mr. Spongely had to come in to fill in. And the boys were just... Oh, Mr. Spongely's quirky spontaneity had made us realize to be better people and not to be so judgmental. And he's now let's look through this box of memories that he's made for us and listen to this bloomin' David Gray music in the background to give some kind of fake emotion. I do not like this record. And Brock Toon, I hope you get better.